So this is my hit Uber combo deck. 1 copy of the leader, 4 Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, 4 Vikel skillless, 4 Dekori skillless, 4 Goku Nimbus Master, 4 E Supreme Kai, 4 Nappa Demolition Super Combo, 4 Goku The Adventure Begins, 4 4-star Ball, 4 Frieza's Army Healing Pod, 4 Violent Rays, 3 Goku Jr. Vegeta Jr. Unison, 3 Shenron Unison Rescue, 3 Lord Slug Giant Force Unison, and 1 Supreme Kai of Time Space Time Unraveler. Alright, so the deck's main engine combo for the Uber combo concept. Ironically, we do still have a super combo. One is a good card. It helps you with Arrival, as well as it does have synergy with Healing Pod. There was a time where I believed, it makes sense because it does happen in most other card games, that when when you play something, it has an effect to play after you use it. Normally you just play it instead of sending it to the drop and then play it from the drop type thing. But in this game, after the battle phase is over, all cards you combo go to the drop. Therefore, your Nappa does hit the drop, and then its effect triggers unless you play it from the drop. It doesn't say it on the card, but that is the ruling for these types of cards. Same will go for what's his name, Bardock's Raiders Warcry, or any other card that says after battle phase, when you combo this card, you play this card. For me, it should just be you play it from the combo area, but Bandai wants it from the drop, so be it. Therefore, because this is green and you playing it from the drop, you will trigger Healing Pod. So just wanted to point that out. Oh yeah, so we got Adventure Begins Goku. You use them to get the 4-star ball, so that way you always have something you can use to do 5k combo. The leader has the ability that when it attacks the leader card, you draw a card, which is nice, and you get a 5k boost. So you're already getting 5k for free. Then you throw in the 4-star ball, that's an extra 5k, so that's essentially 10k to your leader swing. So right there you have a way to generate 10k power every turn with just those cards. Then on top of that, if you were to have a Shenron Unison of Rescue in play, you can use this card's +0 ability, which is if you have no skillless battle card in play, play 1 skillless battle card with an energy cost of 2 or less from your drop. So you could play your Dekori or your Vikel onto the battle area by the effect, and if you want, you can obviously combo them off. They have 0 cost 5k. Combo them off from your battle area whenever you want to use them for combo. And of course, you can combine with a 4-star ball, and if you're using your leader as your main attacker, for example, then you're always adding an extra 15k to your leader swing every time you swing. So that is always good, because then you have 25k leader swing, and then on the Awakened side, pretty much the same thing, but with the added ability that when this card attacks, you draw a card, you gain the 5k, of course, but then you can choose up to 1 skillless battle card in your drop area. It would cost 2 or less in play. So this has a built-in Shenron effect, so this can get you an extra. So after you use Shenron to get yourself a skillless, you can use the leader when it attacks to bring back a skillless, and then you will have more than 1 skillless in play, especially if they're the 20ks, which gives you more attacks. You can obviously use them to attack instead as combo fodder, but it's the fact that you have that as an option, that you can combo them off. Also, with the fact that the Shenron and the leader is bringing these green battle cards back from the drop because they're green skillless, the Healing Pod will trigger to draw. Granted, it's once per turn, but once is better than nothing. So once from Pod, once from the leader, So you're drawing at least 2 cards every turn. And as long as the skillless battle cards stay in play, you can always use Shenron's +1 ability to give them double strike and draw a card, so that adds to your ability to draw. So you're just drawing a lot of cards. You're drawing from Shenron, drawing from Healing Pod, drawing from the leader. Draw. So that is the Uber aspect, Uber combo part. There's other things you can do with the deck, of course. We already mentioned that the leader, when you attack, you draw, and you get 5k power for the duration of the turn, which is always nice. Awaken, we have 4 less life. Draw a card, choose one of your enemies, switch attack mode. Turns Awaken side, of course. When he attacks, you draw, you get 5k boost for the duration turn, then bring back one of your skill battle cards from your drop area. And then active main / battle. Once per turn, choose one card in your hand and place it into the drop area. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with double strike, critical, or blocker and KO it, which is really nice to have. Notice that it's active main and battle, so you can use on your turn active main to get rid of a blocker by pitching a card. And then on your opponent's turn, when they attack, and if they attack with something with double strike or crit, then you can pitch a card during battle and KO that battle card, especially if your opponent comboed a whole bunch of cards into that card's attack, and then you take advantage of KOing their battle card. So really good. Obviously it's defensive. Double strike is a very common thing for stuff to have. Like Gogeta has double strike, so somebody tries to use Gogeta against me, I could just use the leader's ability to KO it. So that's always nice. So keep that in mind. Same goes for E-Supreme Kai. When you use it, you don't have to give something double strike. So that's an important detail, because if you go up against this leader, you obviously don't want to give something you're attacking with double strike because of this effect. So you might want to keep that in mind. Let's see. So moving on, we have of course Gogeta with his 20k double strike. Arrival for red green, you pay 1 red to play him. And auto, when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy costs 4 or less and KO it. And then you can't play other copies of him for the duration of that turn. We got the 20k Mikhail skillless, we got the 10k Dekori skillless. Obviously that's to go with our Goku Jr., Vegeta Jr. Unison. It brings out the Dekoris, so obviously you can go aggro, go turn 1 and go off and deal your opponent up to at least 6 to 8 damage, obviously relatively easily with that. And then on the following turn you can start doing your Shenron and your Goku Adventure Begins strategy, so you can start applying pressure to your opponent over and over again and swinging with big numbers, 20Ks, 30Ks, that kind of stuff, giving things double strike, so that we can deal a lot of damage. Damage output's always important. Goku Jun, wait, we're here. Goku Nimbus Master has unique auto if it's your opponent's turn at the end of the battle, where this card is used in a combo. Play up to 1 skillless battle card with an energy cost of 2 or less from your deck or drop area, and then shuffle your deck if you look towards, and you can't activate this auto skill of copies of this card for the remainder of the turn. Active main, pay 1, send 1 skillless battle card from your drop area to your warp to play this card from your hand. So obviously one of the things you'll want to do is use this to combo to defend yourself during your opponent's turn, just to use it to bring out Biko, because obviously she's worth bringing out, because she's 20k, of course. We have a 20k body on board that you can use to attack your opponent with. Plus it helps you set up for your Shenron play, so once you get her out there, you can use your Shenron to give her double strike and draw a card, of course. And then you have a 20k double strike, which is good stats, good base to power to start off double striking your opponent with. And of course you can use Nappa Super Combo and your 4-star ball to power her up. Once you keep in mind, when you give any of your skillless battle cards double strike, either to E-Supreme Kai or to Shenron, When you set rescue, the 4-star ball will only give 5k power, not 10k. Keep that in mind. But without the double strike, you can use this to make them 10k stronger. Make this a 30k, make this a 20k. So kind of like that. Of course, easy pink high combo for 1 energy, 10k boost, and you can give whatever you're attacking with a double strike. So you can turn any of your cards into a finisher. And, including your leader. Napa, super combo, 0 cost 10k. After you combo with it, at the end of the battle, when you combo this card from your hand, you play this card from your drop area. If your leader card is red, which it is, Goku, the adventure begins. We only get his first active main, which is he gets us the 4-star ball from our deck or drop. Shuffle your deck if you look through it. And of course, if you have multiple copies of these in play, you can do that. You can trigger each copy's active main, once per turn, so that way you can get, 2 or 3 or more of these per turn, so that we can, use these to combo instead of using other cards in your hands to combo, unless it's something like a Napa or Easy Pinkai, something that's deliberately for the purpose of comboing. This gives you a reusable combo. So that's the endless combo concept, of course. You always want to have infinite resources, and you always want your opponent to have finite resources. You want them to run out of gas sooner than you run out of gas. And this deck draws so much, so having something you can combo during the game and save all the cards you drew from your leader swing and this unison and from the pod, you gotta keep those cards in hand instead of using them to combo. You can just combo, your 4-star balls and your Napas instead, and your skillless battle cards, if you want to be creative. And of course, chooses Getting Pod is a field card. Auto, once per turn, when you play a green battle card from your drop area, draw a card. So that's good. And that's the main effect we're using on that card. Violent Raise. If your leader card is red, which it is, negate an attack. You may choose one card from your hand, send it to the drop. If you do, choose one of these abilities. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards 20k power or more for the turn, or your opponent can't attack with unison cards with 20k power or more for the turn. Obviously, you mainly use the battle card part of the effect. Goku Jr., we're mainly only using it for its -1 ability, to play up to 2 skills battle cards with energy cost of 1 from your deck or drop area. If you look through it, obviously this helps us thin out the deck, help us get out the Cories out. So when we start drawing cards, we'll start drawing a lot of our other cards, a lot of our other options. Plus it's good to start the game off, applying pressure real quick. Shamrock Unison Rescue. Permanent can't attack. If it will lose a marker from an attack, you place a card from your life to the drop instead. +1 ability, you may choose one of your skillless battle cards. If you do, give it double strike and you draw a card. +0 ability, if you have no skillless battle cards in play, play 1 skillless battle card with energy cost 2 or less from your drop area. And it's -7 ability, play all your skillless battle cards from your drop area. So this is useful if you want to bring back a whole bunch of your 20 and 10Ks, and then use 4-star ball to pump them up to get them to deal a good amount of damage to your opponent. So that's an option. And then Lord Slug, Giant Force Unison, 15k with crit. Mainly you'll be using this late game, obviously, for its -4 ability, so you'll play for 4 energy. And then since your leader card is red, where your opponent activates a counter skill, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So this is just a way to pretty much make it where your opponent might not want to play a Sparking Negate if they only have 2 life. So I like that, having a deterrent, some way of damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? The double-edged sword concept. So it's like, if you got a Sparking Negate and you're tapped out, well, good luck. Go ahead, play the Sparking Negate, take a life, be down to 1, and then I trigger this effect since it's an auto, and do you 1 damage for playing that counter attack, which means you're down to 0 life, right? So that's the way you like to use it. Basically, it's a counter for a counter, as it were, because you want your opponent to play the negate. So that way this just, you know, burns them for game. But if they don't, even better, right? So if they don't negate, well, that's what I meant to say. You want them not to negate your attack, especially if it's like a double strike Gogeta attack, or, you know, a double strike skillless battle card. You know, you don't want them to stop that, especially when they're at 2 life. This just adds to it. You want to put it, you always have to remember, you always want your opponent to be in a position where they're tapped out, so, and they don't have no blockers, obviously, right? Tapped out, no blockers, which so that way puts them in one situation, which is and this is on average. I mean, there are some leaders that have defensive abilities, but either they use the spark and negate, or they have to out combo. You know what I mean? So you want to put your opponent in a position that like that, where those are like their main options: combo and spark and negate. There is there's a new battle card that can be played. We have 3 or less life that can again attack, so that'll be the new thing. But on average, your opponent's more likely going to be in a position where they have to spark and negate or out combo. And your hand should be really thick at that point in time when you go for game anyway, so put it in a position that if they do try to spark and negate, they'll just end up ending themselves, because you'll have this in play. But if they don't spark and negate and they're trying to out combo you, you're more likely to be able to out combo them, because your hand should be thicker. This has a +1 active main ability. When you may choose 1 card from your hand, send it to the drop. If you do, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it gets a -5k power for the turn. This can help you, you know, remove some problematic battle cards that have barrier, especially if you're in a tight situation where you might need this. I can use an example like Jiren. You know, Jiren leader has the Universe 11, like, you know, 1-drops and stuff like that, or the Castle Roll and Kunchi or something like that. You get the idea that they have a card that can give barrier, so you want to use this to get rid of the card that gives barrier, so that way none of the cards have barrier. And then you want, you know, obviously you want to be able to get rid of their Universe 9 battle cards to greatly increase your chances of being able to deal your opponent damage if you're going up against that deck. And we have Supreme Kai of Time, Space-Time Unraveler, active main, pay 1, choose this card and all of your opponent's battle cards and unison cards and send them to the bonus warps. Active battle ability, pay 1. If you have 3 or more energy, play this card from your hand. If you do, your opponent can't attack with leader cards or unison cards for the turn. So decent card, you know, better to have and not need than to need and not have, right? And with all the drawing you can do in this deck, it wouldn't be that hard to get to this card and then be able to play it out for 1 energy on your opponent's turn, and then on your turn, you know, you could pay 1 to trigger its effect to clear the board and then go in for game. That's the end of the video.